You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Ian. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, and streaming live on Ustream, this is AfterBuzz TV for The Secret Circle. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest Secret Circle news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off and the buzz continues, it's AfterBuzz TV for The Secret Circle.
Good evening.
Hello.
AfterBuzzers.
Hello.
Welcome to season 1, episode 3 of The Secret Circle, entitled Loner. I am going to be your host tonight, David Schifilliti, and we have a full house tonight, which I'm very excited about. We'll start at the other end of the table, across from me, with the lovely Melissa.
Hey guys, what up?
What's your last name, Melissa?
Macedo. That's correct.
Melissa Macedo, everybody.
Yeah.
Gorgeous and talented. Then next to her, we have Nathan Hertz.
That's right, Nathan Hertz.
Welcome, Nathan.
No relation to the rent-a-car company, I wish. In case you're wondering.
I kind of was. I'm not gonna lie.
I wish too.
If you were the heir to the Hertz family fortune.
No.
Yeah, no.
Unfortunately not.
Sorry, just the hurt part. Just the negative connotation.
the pain.
And then we have to his left, Kimmy Linares. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yes, you did.
Welcome,
Kimmy
Kimmy.
Linares.
Sometimes they try
from-
to make it too ethnic, but it's just
Linares.
Yeah. You got it.
Sometimes people are like Macedo. And I'm like, okay. Michelle Macedo. Linares. But that's okay. Kimmy is here from Kimberly Michelle Linares is here from Chosamama Restaurant.
Yeah, it's
Holler out.
good. That's the ethnic part of me. Right there.
Welcome. And then to my left, we have my dear friend Billy Nellis. Welcome,
Hello.
Billy. He is a AfterBuzz virgin.
Don't be too rough.
I'm not promising it.
Well, we know how you feel
Yeah.
about virgins.
Yikes.
And then-
Yikes is right.
Can I just say that I think tonight is a special night on the Secret Circle because there are 6 of us? Because my name's Michelle Macedo. And right?
We're
And-
getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there, Michelle.
She just
And
always,
then,
As
I
my
know,
twin.
as your twin, she's always stepping over you. It's fine.
I was raining on my parade
Co-host from week to week, even though we're on week 3.
from the very beginning.
From the very beginning, the gorgeous and talented Michelle Macedo.
Hello. Yes, thank you. Yes, David, you can call me Skiff. Is his Twitter name.
That is my
handle.
Twitter name.
Oh.
Handle.
Which I think is funny and should not go unnoticed. And also, Melissa Macedo is the other half of my twindom. Buy our album by Macedo.
And if
Five
you
Glasses.
haven't done it yet, you really do need to. That album is incredible.
Yeah, I made him have
Thank you.
it. So for real.
It's amazing, you guys. So get out there, get on iTunes.
I know you're on the computer already.
But wait till we're done. Please wait till we're done. And we do
Okay,
want
yeah.
to announce to you guys that through the month of October, every week we're going to be bringing in recommendations of our favorite witch movies for you. So if you have any suggestions that you want us to watch or talk about, please call us here at 424-256-1729. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck with what we have to offer you.
Yeah. Which might be Hocus Pocus. And
Which probably
yeah.
will be
Probably
Hocus
will
Pocus.
every single month. So definitely give us your recommendations.
But let's get into this week's episode. I want to start off with Faye's storyline. So Faye, since the beginning of this series, 3 weeks ago, has been obsessed with her magic. She's constantly wanting to get better at it. She wants to be the most powerful. She doesn't want to bind the circle in the beginning. And we see this week, after she bound the circle, she's having problems with the fact that she can't use her magic unless there is another person of the circle present, and that aggravates her to no end.
You know, at first I thought at the beginning of this episode that maybe the rule is you can't use your magic if it's selfish, because she wanted to do all this stuff like open her locker and whatever, but it worked right away when Cassie was being attacked.
Right.
Right.
So Faye's all worried about her power because she wants to open lockers and start storms.
Yeah.
Right, but I think as we see them grow with their powers and figure out what they can do and what they can't do, they're going to get used to not having to do stupid things like open their lockers anymore
Right.
and turn on the lights
Let's
and close the curtains and open the curtains. I mean,
Light.
as we've seen in this episode, their powers when they're together are limitless. They really can accomplish.
Exactly.
They make papers fly.
They made papers fly.
Hello.
So many papers.
So many papers were flying.
Now we're skipping ahead.
We are skipping ahead, but we'll get to that. And we did see this week that Faye has a soul.
Yeah.
What were you guys thinking about that?
Well, there was a moment, you know, Melissa, Miss Low Self-Esteem, not myself, the one on the show.
The one on the show.
She, you know, she wanted to help her, and she really felt bad because Nick was being a meanie, you know, to her. And then you saw that that moment of them walking off together, being happy, where she's like, "Oh, I did that," and then she's like, "Why would I think that? No, I hate everyone." It's like we all saw that.
We all
Faye.
saw it, Faye.
Exactly.
The episode
Hi.
did work to humanize her a little.
It
kind of
did.
Yeah.
rounded her out.
Right.
She's not just going to be the bad girl of the circle. I don't
Yeah.
think
Mm-hmm.
people
Mm-hmm.
are
Oh,
What if she
gonna-
easily goes to the dark side? You don't know.
Well,
We
that's
never
the thing
know.
with her.
That's the thing
know.
with magic in general, right? We
Yes.
spoke about this before, whether it's dark or light,
Right.
and who is the magic evil, is the person evil. You never know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And there's so much positive magic, but there is that choice. And for whatever reason, we don't know what she's going to choose. And she's the one that's on the border, I think.
Yeah,
Right.
I think she's
Most.
definitely the...
Definitely.
She is the most. But speaking of low self-esteem, Melissa, we
No.
see her, not
no.
you,
Yeah.
the one on the show.
Let's just get a close up on her every time.
Every time I mention low self-esteem and Melissa. We see at the beginning of the episode, she's back with Nick in bed, trying to get him to go to the dance with her. And she is pining after him, and you can tell that it's more to her, their sexual relationship, whatever it is, than it is to him.
Right.
Yeah.
It's almost like she's trying to make herself suffer, which is what Nick finally they talk about it.
Right?
Right.
Finally, he
At the dance.
But I-
acknowledges that he's so mean to her.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say that first conversation, he was just like, why would you want to do something stupid like that? I mean, they just did some business. You know what I mean? It's like, you're really going to be that
It
mean.
just made some magic.
They just made some magic.
And by
From the
magic.
first episode, you guys should head back to the first episode, and two other people made some magic, but
Uh-oh.
it wasn't the kind that goes in bed.
But they're teenagers. They're underage.
I know.
I don't understand.
This is fictitious.
Yeah.
Well,
Just
teens
making
are
sure.
having sex these days. Let's not
Yeah.
be
What?
shy about that.
What are you talking about?
No, they're
As long as everyone is using a condom
Yeah.
and being safe about their sex, I think it's fine for them to be discussing stuff like this, especially on the CW.
I know.
Yeah,
I was
CW.
shocked. It's to see on the CW such explicit.
Well, CW,
explicit
now
material.
the home of Gossip Girl, though.
That's true. And
They broke those
90210.
borders. Yeah.
Yes.
So they're getting racier and racier.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting a little crazy.
It's a
They
slippery path,
are.
though, right?
I mean, we won't get into that. Not here, not now.
Okay. All right.
But let's talk about Cassie.
Yes.
Yes.
Cassie's the new girl in school, and people are constantly coming up to her, wanting to be her friend, wanting to hang out with her, wanting to help her do this, join activities, and whatnot. And she just wants to be left alone. It seems like she wants this life of a loner, which was the title of our episode this week. How do you guys feel about that?
I think it definitely sort of opens up the issue that she's got some major issues with loss of her mother. She's clearly in this new place, and she's got all these new things going on with her, and she doesn't want anything to do with it because she's reeling from this. She's really a damaged kid. And I think that is definitely evident this week when she just really didn't want to be, in the past couple of weeks, doesn't want to be with anybody.
Go ahead.
Honestly, it makes me a little suspicious of her when Diana wants to be friends, and she's just like, no, why? We don't have to be friends. Well, why wouldn't you be friends? I don't know. It was sort of like maybe there'll be a, something happening soon, turning point in the season, where Faye won't be the bad girl.
But we do see Cassie struggling with the idea of getting to know herself as a witch and not wanting to have these powers and not wanting to be part of the circle. And she bound the circle for the benefit of the other kids, but doesn't really want to be part of it.
She doesn't want to identify as witch, that's for sure. And she doesn't want to hang out with them because then that will remind her more that she is. And also I think it reminds her of her mother. Now she knows this like giant secret that her mother kept from her the entire time.
And she wants to get to know her mother. I mean, we see her in the episode of finding a box of her mother's stuff and going through it and trying to figure out who her mother was when she lived in this town that she now lives in the same room.
Yeah, that's really crazy. And what happened with the fires?
Still very ominous boat fire.
Everyone
happening.
always almost says it.
But no one ever admits it.
Well, we had a little bit of a creeper on our hands this episode.
We did.
Half
Zach.
James Franco, half homeless.
It's almost the same thing.
I did not see him as looking homeless at all. He's a fisherman.
He like
from
came
the
out
past.
of a freaking boat with a baseball bat.
All fishermen have baseball bats. What if they catch a shark?
So
You'd have to
true.
beat it to death.
You got to see Shark Night. 'Cause that,
I don't really like sharks,
me neither.
to tell you the truth.
Me neither.
Well, this guy just pops out of the blue, right? I mean,
Apparently he's a fisherman. Zach Larson, he's someone from the parents' past. He was friends with everyone. He went to school. It looked like in the yearbook photo that Cassie found, he was on the football team. And he knows about the kids. He knows about the past, where the adults had their circle. He knows about the kids' circle. And now that Cassie is back into town, he is concerned that they have formed a new circle and doesn't want the same thing to happen that happened last time to happen again.
he's really traumatized from whatever happened before. I mean, he's
Heather or whatever.
Yeah. Each of their parents, one of their parents died in whatever this was.
We also find out that both of Nick's parents died in the accident.
Yes. So he's double damaged.
He's double damaged, as
Says
Faye
Faye.
put it.
it makes mathematical sense. I mean,
Logically, that's how it works out.
Double damage. Yeah.
It does. And he is gunning for these kids.
Yeah. It's hard though. It's almost obviously he's the villain of the episode, but his intentions are almost pure. He wants to keep this dangerous magic out of his town, and obviously doesn't want this sort of accident happening. And so you definitely rationalize where he's coming from, but at the same time, he can't hurt our Cassie.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Just can't happen.
By trying to save everyone from harm, he's harming people.
more.
He's the most damaged.
You think?
He's
Yes.
triple damage.
How so?
Okay.
Please explain.
I'm just saying he's got this rationale in his head that he's going to save everyone or like prevent something from happening. So that's why he's going to extremes to even, be in dark hallways and creepy people out.
Yeah.
But to play devil's advocate, if these kids, since they've bound the circle and their powers are now greater than they've ever known them before, and they don't know how to control them yet, they could actually do a lot of harm collectively as a whole.
So you understand where he's coming from.
Right.
He's obviously experienced that sort of traumatic accident.
Exactly.
So it's tough.
It is tough.
I just feel like from history,
No, I was going to say the dad of Diana is a creeper.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
who I
he's a
think-
creeper. Oh,
Yeah.
he's
We'll
a
get to
creeper.
Charles and Mrs.
He's a
Jane.
creeper, and we're trying to figure out him and Principal Chamberlain's whole deal.
Diabolical plan.
Yes, but I think here's the essence of what has gone wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know how when something, okay, so Spring Awakening. Has everyone seen that play and or musical?
No.
Okay.
I'm with you.
Well, okay. Well, basically,
But
it's
for our listeners.
It's about how basically all of these kids that are growing up like know nothing about sex because their parents like haven't told them anything. And so because their parents were trying to protect them, didn't tell them anything, and so then they like got preggo and were like, "What happened? We didn't know
They're going to do
not
it
to do
anyway,
it."
but they don't know how to
Exactly.
protect themselves
So
from it.
by trying to protect them, they really left them in the dark, and because of that, it was like twice as worse.
Right.
But if you think about it,
Mm-hmm.
have the parents necessarily kept their children in the dark? Diana's the only one on the show that found her family's book, correct?
Yes.
And now Cassie.
Cassie found her book but hasn't told anyone about it.
Right.
But Diana shared her book with the Circle. Diana's father, Charles, killed Cassie's mom, Amelia, to bring Cassie back into town. Do you think possibly that Charles planted the book for Diana to find? They wanted...
There's something going on there. Principal Chamberlain and Charles want something to happen, and very well I think we might see that there's some puppet strings going on when it comes to
absolutely,
the
yeah.
kids.
But I'm wondering, is it good or is it bad? I mean, obviously he killed Cassie's mom.
There's a weirdness when, he was like, "Yeah, we're dating. How do you feel about that?" And he was so good at faking it to his own daughter that concerned me.
Well, and I think when you look back to the pilot at the way that Charles handled Adam's father with that magical waterboarding to keep him quiet when he was drunk at the end of the pilot, there's definitely something they want to keep quiet there. So
Right.
I don't know that it's going to come out to be something of a good
Right.
time.
Well, last episode, the grandfather, Faye's grandfather, Henry, came back and told them that he was going to strip all the kids of their powers, and the kids don't know that their parents know.
Oh.
Yeah. So no one knows that they know.
No.
Right.
The parents
Basically.
know about their children's powers and that they've bound their circle. They're very aware of that. But the kids don't know that their parents know.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So anyway, and they protected them from that, and they were saying to Henry, that was wrong of you to take away our powers, because the powers were stripped of them because they had something happen, an accident, a fire.
Well,
we
clearly
don't
they
know.
lost control of their powers at some point, and they weren't able to handle them. So their powers were taken away from them for a good reason, and their kids were never the children's children were never supposed to know about magic.
Mm-hmm.
But as you said, they're going to find out about it anyway. They should have educated their children about it, at least on a one-on-one level, and had let them know, like, hey, this might happen or whatever. But
now they're all metaphorically preggo and with STDs.
exactly.
Right. Really bad STDs,
But
too.
for me, since it started, I'm going to stick to it that I think that Charles and Principal Chamberlain, whom I think her name is Bella.
She's Dawn.
Dawn.
Bella's a nice name, too.
Bella.
though.
It's all the same.
I didn't even catch that, her name, her first name.
That they want their magic back in full.
Yeah,
Yes.
they do.
So I think they're working to get the secret circle, their children's circle, to help them restore their magic or take their magic. Because we find out in this episode that if one of the circle dies from Zach, the circle ceases to exist.
It's broken.
It is broken. So
And so none of them have powers anymore?
I don't
if one of
think
them
so. I
dies?
think they get their individual powers back, but as a whole, they're just stronger.
Yeah.
So it'll be weaker.
Someone's gonna die.
Someone might be dying.
Uh-oh.
I guess we'll have to wait and see or talk about that in predictions.
But I mean,
We also find out in this episode that a lot happened in the fire that we weren't necessarily expecting. Possibly Amelia wasn't as sweet and innocent as she is painted to be in the past 2 episodes. Maybe she did something to harm her friend Heather, whom we also find out, quote unquote, died in the boating accident.
Yes.
According to the newspaper.
According to the newspaper. Now, if she was on the boat and they did find a body, clearly she's dead.
right.
But we also know that they tried to cover up what happened.
Right. I mean, we see earlier on Charles talking to Principal Chamberlain that he's put Henry's body in the boathouse and that the body will be uncovered when need be.
whatever they're going to do with that.
Whatever they're going to do with that. We also see that the kids finally come together as a whole to save Cassie at the school dance when Zach is attacking her. And that's when we see how strong they are as a group and how much damage they can actually do if they put their minds to it.
Like Kimmy says, so many papers.
So many papers. All the lockers flew open.
So many
Everyone's
papers.
notes
So
went everywhere.
That's like a
Yeah.
tree.
It's like one whole
Saying they're
tree.
gonna go to emergency room with big paper cuts.
It could be very hazardous to your health.
Yeah.
Very dangerous.
And then they lifted him up and hit him on the top of the ceiling
Yeah.
And then flew him back down
and
to the
flew him
ground.
back down.
I was wondering, was he being choked or was he just
Yeah.
freaking out?
It did look, when he was on the ceiling, it looked like
Yeah, that's what I
there
thought.
was something around his
And
neck.
so then they were like, is he dead?
But then he said something else, which was Zach said they did much worse than kill her.
Yeah, it was.
And what do you mean, Zach?
Exactly. What did Amelia do to Heather?
Yeah.
I know. I'm like, just beat him up like right after he says this.
Yeah.
She's like, just wait a little bit. It's like shooting the guy that has all the information.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the parents, quote unquote, come to the rescue. And Principal Chamberlain says she's going to take care of it. She says he is an addict who's been breaking into the school and that she'll take care of it. So she calls the police, apparently, and has him arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I also think it's interesting how they both kind of try to cover it up to each other.
Both of them did. The Fae was like, oh, he was chasing us and
They caught him
opened up all
breaking
the
into
lockers.
Obviously, opened up all the lockers.
Looking for history notes.
You know those drug addicts.
Geometry.
Can't get enough
Are
information.
My
totally
geometry
into
book.
11th grade math.
They're so focusing on covering it up. Who knows if they noticed about the other one?
Exactly. I
Wait.
mean,
How come they can't tell their parents? Why
They
can't they just be like,
don't-
this is happening. There's like magic going on.
they
Yeah.
don't want the parents to know because they think their parents would disapprove
Or stop
And
it.
take
or
their
stop
powers
them,
away
or
from
take their
them.
powers away from them.
You can't do
Needs
that. You
to
just
be
do magic.
Or that they'll get in trouble for practicing.
Right.
Well, they're aware that their parents' powers are stripped, so it's possible. From the book that Diana discovered, they know that the powers were taken away.
Right.
So they don't want that to happen.
And not to get into
Right.
predictions, but it does seem like that's going to happen inevitably very soon. I mean, there's only so many question marks the show can keep opening up before we start to get some answers.
We
Right.
will get there.
I know. I'm sorry. Can't wait.
So Principal Chamberlain and Charles take Zach. He's in the trunk of their car. Principal Chamberlain marks him. She cuts her hand and marks him so that
Yeah.
if he ever comes back into town or tries to hurt their children again, she's going to know about it. Like a sort of Wiccan witch LoJack system. That's how I equated it to
Oh, that's
on my notes. Right? I mean, it sort of makes sense. She has a map of where he is and where he's going to be, and she
Yeah.
can sense him.
Mhm.
so. Is that a power or is that just a spell?
I think it was just a spell. I mean, she cut her hand and then put it on his forehead and whispered some stuff.
There was
Some things-
there was an incantation. She
Yeah.
did definitely
So,
Mhm.
cast something.
so they can cast spells to a certain extent,
Right.
but they can't do magic.
She might have had the stone on her.
Yeah, that's what
And
I was
she might have had
thinking.
the stone on her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is very, very
They had a really
true.
short conversation about the crystal. Do you remember that?
They did. Charles
Oh,
wanted the
shit.
crystal back, and she
That-
didn't think it was a good idea.
Clandestine meeting down by the
Mhm.
water.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that's everything that happened in this episode. Did we? Is there anything else that anyone wanted to discuss?
I think we covered it. It was pretty
I think we covered
Yeah,
everything.
that was
pretty intense episode.
way to go.
Yeah. Well, we'll forge ahead and we'll talk about it in predictions.
Okay, Jesse, why don't you take us to a commercial break? When we get back, we're going to discuss a special segment with you guys called So You Want to Become a Witch?
Want to find out what the AfterBuzz is about?
Janice is a drama queen.
This is the divide that is going to carry the series.
Give us a call. 424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
It's television, and they want it to be as dramatic as possible.
I mean, it's Shakespearean.
You never know what goes on behind closed doors.
Find out why AfterBuzz TV is the #1 source for after-show content.
Now, in the eyes of Jimmy, Nucky is a villain.
424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
I mean, who would you guys rather hear that from? Your husband or your best friend?
The wig will come out.
When the TV show is over, get your AfterBuzz on.
Welcome back, you guys. Thank you.
Yeah,
With the
thank
Bewitched
you.
theme song. So you want to be a witch?
It's like I'm in an Electrolux commercial.
Seriously.
You are.
I want to see her putting a hex on some peeps, you know? Bewitched lady.
So we're going to head over to the lovely Michelle over here, and
Right.
she's going to talk to
So-
us about being a witch.
Yeah, you guys.
What do you got for us, girl?
Do you want to be a witch?
I do. I mean,
Yes.
who doesn't want to be
Yes.
a witch?
Well, okay. Well, if you want to gain personal power,
Uh-huh.
you have to live in tune with yourself and nature.
Okay.
Didn't know that.
Do you guys want to do that?
I do.
Of course. Who
Sounds
doesn't
great.
wanna be
Let's do it.
one with
Let's,
their
you know,
self?
yeah.
Witchcraft might be the answer for you.
Okay, well, how
Well,
do we
keep in
know?
mind, keep
is
in
there
mind.
is there a
Okay.
witch quiz? Is
Well,
there
yeah,
a,
yes. I have a
One of those
quiz.
internet
Okay.
quizzes.
But keep in mind that being a witch is more than saying chants, doing spells, and knowing cool stuff. Wicca is a spiritual path. It's important to look at your motivations before you set off on your journey. No
Good or
phase.
evil.
No phase. Okay, fae, bye. Okay, so take this little quiz and find out if your reasons are the right reasons.
Okay.
Ready.
Everyone, write
Okay.
down your answer. Write down which letter your answer is.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the quiz.
You want to be a witch because A, you want to learn more about yourself. B, you want to become more in tune with yourself and nature. C, you want to turn your boss into a frog. Or D, your best friend is doing it.
D.
That's a hard one.
Okay,
is a
everyone
hard
write
one.
Does
down your
Phil
answers.
count as a boss?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's the boss.
I'm gonna-
Like a boss, you know, everyone, YouTube. 2,
Melissa, are you doing this?
of course.
Everyone's doing it.
Oh, she's gonna do it because her best friend
Yeah.
is doing it.
I do everything Melissa does.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I
no.
thought. That's
I
what I
saw.
thought.
We'll look into your reasons after this. You believe witches to be A, keepers of magical forces, B, people who can change the future, C, people who are content with themselves and the world around them, D, people who dance naked and have orgies.
Oh.
Awesome.
Melissa,
Yeah.
you're D again.
How did you know?
Well, that's
I don't look.
we won't reveal all the answers unless you guys want to. But witches are people who associate themselves with A, the devil,
Uh-oh.
Don't say that word.
B, a loving god and goddess.
Hmm.
Kind of look like us.
Yep.
C,
Look a lot like us.
people of like ways and minds. D, mystical, magical creatures.
Are unicorns in that category?
No.
Yes.
Although I think a unicorn is technically a mythological creature.
Right.
What about trolls?
Those would be magical.
That's magic. That's on the next quiz. Is it magical or mythical? Number 2.
Okay, almost done. To be a witch, you have A, be willing to have sex with other people.
I think that's different.
Be willing to do blood sacrifices.
Oh.
C, be willing to face your true inner self and not be afraid. Or D, learn to trust yourself.
I know what the exciting answer is.
to face your true inner self.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was B blood sacrificing?
Yes.
Oh.
So
You need to
anyway,
pay attention, Kimmy.
Yeah, you're
5.
Focus.
Just write down what Melissa wrote down.
Give you my
5.
quiz after.
A witch always A, tries to abide by a positive code of morality. B, owns a black cat. C, flies on a broom during a full moon. Or D, knows the intent of her or his magic.
I love that they spell magic in this with a C and a K.
I noticed that
By
as well.
the way.
That in Wiccan religion, that is the way that you spell it.
Oh.
With a C and a K.
Oh, interesting.
Because magic, the way that we spell it in every day is like magician relationship.
Oh.
Right. That makes sense.
So they want to
Distance
take the
themselves
magician out
from
of that. Yeah.
So what do our answers reveal about ourselves?
Okay. Question 1.
Let's just go through a couple of them because there's a lot.
Yes. What did you guys answer?
C for 1. What was C?
No, let's do the majority.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
C.
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 I D, but
Okay.
I answered C.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't answer.
Oh, I answered B. So let's go with C. What does C say? C was you want to turn your boss into a frog.
Have you seen my boss? Because he's already very frog-like, and it would work quite well.
Is your boss Diego Rivera?
Yes.
How did you know that?
C.
Awesome.
Have you forgotten all about the Rick and Reed? Please read the rest of this chapter carefully and go back and reread chapters 1, 3, and 4.
Clearly, that was the wrong answer.
Yes.
Yeah,
So clearly,
wrong answer.
you don't want to turn your boss into a frog. You want to become more in tune with nature and yourself. Which was B, my answer.
That's a good one. You're a real witch.
I'm a real witch.
Question 2.
You believe
B.
witches to be B.
I actually chose B as well again.
Okay.
I think I did D.
Okay.
I chose A.
Okay.
Didn't
And
choose.
I chose D.
Okay, so
Which is not the right answer. That was the answer of people who dance with naked and have orgies.
Oh.
Because we've been waiting for that to happen on the show all season.
Yeah.
that is what.
And by
3
we,
episodes
and
in.
by we, David
We've
means
seen it.
him.
Oh.
No! Michelle and I have been waiting for a naked orgy dance under the moon since the first episode.
I think you need
And
to turn
so
to
then-
HBO, my man.
We have seen many a naked person on the CW before.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
At least lingerie up, people.
No, on Buffy, fully nude.
Oh.
Vampire Diaries, fully nude. You mean you don't get full frontal
Oh, well, then what's the
on
point?
anybody.
But they could definitely do a under the full moon.
Under the full
dancing
moon
around.
from like wide shot dancing. Could be fun. So what was the answer to B? What does that reveal about us?
There might be B is you believe witches to be people who can change the future. Yes.
Not the right answer. Also.
No.
There might be some truth in both of these answers, but answers A and B. Oh. C is the best answer.
People who are content with themselves in the world.
Witches are happy people because they live right and use their energy wisely.
I mean, look at Faye.
No, they're happy. No, all of them are happy people. All of them. Every single one.
Every single one.
Just
of them.
like Christian people.
We're not going to get into that, I don't think.
They're all
Those only
happy.
do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
They're happy.
Isn't it Rosh Hashanah?
Oh, yeah. We have to
Michelle.
celebrate something.
We do have to celebrate. It is the New Year in the Jewish tradition, so Shana Tova to all the Jews out there. That's it.
Yay.
Happy Rosh
Happy New Year.
Hashanah. Cool. Okay,
They understood me, so it's fine, Jesse.
Because I was like, she said what?
Okay. Witches are people who associate themselves with. This is number 3.
D.
I don't have an answer for this one, so just
Okay.
give me.
I think D.
Okay.
I put D as well.
Oh.
I put B.
Oh, okay. Well, D is
Mystical magical creatures.
what kind of mystical magical creatures? We haven't mentioned any of those, have we?
No, we have not.
No, we haven't.
The correct answer would
darn.
be B. Yes, witches honor the loving god and goddess.
Mm-hmm.
So they honor Michelle and
Us.
myself.
Oh, I see.
Right.
To be witch, you have to. Number 4.
A.
A.
B.
C.
I answered D.
Yes.
I answered D as well.
Okay.
You have to learn to trust yourself. The other one, there was no
sure,
other majority,
D
so we're going to go with D.
is close, but think about it this way. You're wrong. You need
Okay.
to face your true inner self and not shy away from what you find there in order to trust yourself.
Ah.
Well, that's a cheat, so either one works.
Hey, sorry, there's only one right answer. Okay.
And also, just a side note, sex should never come into your training as a witch.
Someone is lying
That's
to you.
too late.
That's how
Too
they
late.
are training
Ooh,
you.
while some covens, don't, you guys, that's not the right coven for you. It's
don't
like
think
going
so.
into an audition and them asking you to take off your clothes. Like, get out of that audition.
What if it's CW?
Then do whatever they ask.
Then do whatever. Do
doubt
what
the
Melissa would do.
Doubt the CW would ask you to take your clothes off in an audition. No.
Yeah.
Who knows? Vampire Diaries.
I think after they cast you, they'll get you a trainer.
They at least
Real.
didn't ask at the first audition.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
A Witch Always. This is number 5.
Answers?
B.
I forgot.
Okay.
D.
I wrote D as well. So we got 2 B's and 2 D's.
Well, A Witch Always B owns a black cat.
I mean,
damn.
Sabrina. Did anyone watch that show? Come on.
Said is not the best answer, but well, yes, lots of witches do own black cats. Although they also live with white cats and dogs and parakeets and gerbils.
I'm interested in the witch's gerbil. That needs to be the new trend.
Yeah.
So
maybe we'll see it coming up on the Secret Circle.
The witches
one.
and their gerbil.
yeah, let's bring that
would
back.
be
You
incredible.
can bring that back.
This is my gerbil, Henry.
D, you guys, that answer is almost right, but it's not. Basically, it just says that.
The correct answer is A.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Tries to abide by a positive code of morality.
These witches, they're killjoys in this.
I know.
No trolls or anything.
Do
No
you guys
storms.
think that if any of the kids in the Secret Circle had taken this quiz, that they would have actually had the right answers to the question?
Faye would have
I mean,
failed
Faye
for sure.
definitely would have failed.
That would be like, it's when you have sex with people.
Nick would be all about the sex.
Yeah,
so
Melissa.
she would have failed. Melissa might have passed by, I think, because she seems to have a smart head on her shoulders, even though she's a bit of a follower. She does sort of stand up for herself.
Yeah, we
At
saw
times.
that.
We saw that this week.
Diana would say everything that was the right thing to say.
And I think so would Adam.
Yeah.
And I think Cassie would just be clueless.
She would be like, I
she
I
wouldn't
hate
have
this
taken
quiz.
She'd be like, I'm not taking this quiz. You guys.
I want to be alone.
Leave me alone. I've never been to a school dance before.
Exactly.
Okay. you
So
guys.
that's the quiz.
That is the quiz. So you want to be a witch.
We're witches?
Beautiful.
Congratulations, witches that made it to the next round.
You just won yourself a gerbil.
And hopefully every week we'll be able to bring you guys a little special something about the Wiccan world and enlighten your minds, or at least enjoy you for another 10 minutes. Enjoy you.
Enjoy you. Please let us
Help
enjoy you.
Let
for
us enjoy you.
another 10
No.
minutes.
Help you enjoy yourselves.
But not too much.
Never mind. Jesse, we're going to jump over to DJ Jesse Jennedy for our news and gossip. Jesse.
AfterBuzz TV News.
All right, so Gail Harold gets wicked. Gail Harold is no stranger to playing bad boys. His sexy Brian Kinney in Queer as Folk was the resident love 'em and leave 'em heartbreaker for 5 seasons. But Charles Meade, the Wicked Witch of Chance Harbor he plays in CW's Secret Circle, is on a totally different level, saying he may be up in the bad scale a bit. Harold said Monday during a phone interview this week. But producers Kevin Williamson and Andrew Miller have yet to reveal why Charles and Dawn have set their plan in motion. But there's no doubt it will be juicy, action-filled. Harold has quickly become the biggest reason to watch The Secret Circle as Charles kills and broods and manipulates. But if you ask the actor, Charles isn't simply a villain. What do you guys think of that?
Interesting.
Yeah, I think he's
Very
complicated.
interesting.
I want to hear what the other characters have to say about who's the best to watch right now.
Well, I mean, as an actor, you need to find the other layers of your character,
Well,
other
right,
than
yeah.
the fact that he might be evil, but maybe he has the right intentions for doing what he's doing.
Right, we don't know
At the end
yet.
of the day, we have no idea
And
yet.
I do think that his character is a strong reason to tune in. He's obviously linked to the very central mystery of why Cassie was brought to this town. So
Right.
I see where he's coming from. Obviously he likes his character the best because it's his character anyway. But
Yeah.
I see his reasoning.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So Thomas Dekker, who plays Adam, Here's what comes to mind when we think of the Secret Circle's Adam Conant? Plaid shirts, exploding light bulbs, emo angst, and the lyrics to Turn Around Bright Eyes. Not on the list, the lyrics to Macho Macho Man. Don't get us wrong, our love for Adam borderlines and an obsession. Does it borderline obsession for you guys?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Well, Thomas has a different opinion of his character, saying it's interesting to play this very masculine, very American, strong guy who is trying to keep order in the group and is not out so much for himself.
Interesting.
Come again? What do you guys think of that?
That's interesting that's how he thinks of himself.
Well, I mean, he's looking at his character as being someone who's working for the better of the group and not necessarily just for himself, like, let's say, a Fae would be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think he's overlooking his sort of selfish attraction towards Cassie a little.
A little bit.
Yeah, totally.
And we'll see where that triangle develops if
If
and when it develops, because we know that it's going to eventually, because it's written in the stars. So says Ethan.
Well, he answered some questions, and one of the questions is why is Adam with Diana? Dude seems totally into Cassie and all. Well, Thomas Dekker said, as we get to explore more of their relationship, you'll see why they're together, how long they've been together, and for what reasons. Obviously, there was an immediate draw to Adam when it came to Cassie's arrival in town. But he has such a comfortability with Diana. It's an easy place. And he also hinted that maybe Diana has that type of pull with somebody else in the group.
That would be Cassie.
Diana?
Yeah, I think Cassie is the link to everybody in this. Whether or not it's a sexual pull or not.
Yeah, she really wants to be your friend.
She desperately wants to be friends with
really
her.
wants to be your friend.
That
And
could
I think
also be keep your enemy close. She's a
Yeah.
little
Yeah,
nuts.
that's
That's what I was thinking.
I thought she was like going a little crazy when she was talking about how much she
Like,
wanted to be
I
your
love
friend.
him. And she said it pretty scary.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
about
then
her.
Cassie did not seem convincing when she's like, no, it's nothing.
Yeah. Oh no.
When she looks like she's being caught all the time, it does not help.
Well, speaking of that, could jealousy ultimately push Diana to the dark side? Diana is the picture of goodness, Dekker says, but when these outside threats and forces enter the circle, it would be very easy to be manipulated. That's what we've been warned, that any one of us at any time can be shifted to another side.
Oh, God.
You have to think who her father is. She's clearly got it in her.
Yeah, that's true.
Adam also says, even Mr. Nice Guy Adam could change.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's wearing eyeliner, I think.
Yeah, I think he wears eyeliner
I
too.
think so.
Well, he wears dark brown contacts on the show. He has naturally blue eyes.
Oh.
So it might have to do with something like that. He does have pretty intense eyelashes
Why?
in general.
Why the contacts?
It might be something in the book. Maybe the character was written with brown eyes instead
yeah.
of blue, and they made him wear contacts.
That's interesting.
Just like Kristen Stewart in Twilight.
Oh, really?
yeah.
She has light eyes?
She's got blue eyes as well.
Oh, wow.
All right, so how do the kids' powers work? Is one in charge of fire, one does ice, etc.? Executive producer Andrew Miller sets us straight, saying, the idea is that they're not like X-Men. They do not, they do not have specific superpowers. They can do everything, but they have the propensity towards certain things. For example, if you're casting a spell that involves water, having Adam around will make that spell better.
So he said not like, what was it?
X-Men.
Not like X-Men, but Captain Planet?
Right? I know, I was thinking that.
Well, maybe certain kids have certain draws towards certain elements.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they did call the 6 elements: earth, air,
Right.
fire, wind, metal.
Love?
No. What was the 6th
No, it's
part?
hard. It's hard.
Something like that.
Yeah, but yeah.
We'll see.
That'd be
All right.
interesting.
Who sits atop the evil totem pole? Dawn is not someone to be trifled with. Miller stresses, while we saw Charles pulling the magical strings in the pilot, we'll continue to see a side of Dawn that's surprising and can be very terrifying, just like her father-in-law. Natasha Henstridge claims Dawn is very much playing with the puppet master at this point. Whether that will change, I'm not sure, but she's very much the one moving the chess pieces, overseeing all of what's going on. And so what is Dawn and Charles' endgame here? And do they agree on the endgame? Gail Harold, who plays Charles with the delicious zeal, was not at liberty to reveal their master plan, but I would love to see it be kind of as it should be, let out bit by bit. But veiled, so it builds up to a question, he offered. You have this whole thriller aspect of who's going to unwind to the other one, because it's inevitable that there's going to be some sort of power struggle between them.
I can totally see that setting up, and I think it's gonna be maybe a real central conflict of the whole series.
I think we saw a little foreshadowing of it when they did have their meeting, and he wanted that crystal, and she wouldn't give it up. I think that's gonna become a larger issue for the two of them.
Well, so Adam's dad, Ethan, was obviously very fond of Cassie's mom. Could he be Cassie's actual father? Presented with our paternity switch theory, Decker had to laugh. That would be cool, but seeing how Cassie and Adam have been getting quite cozy, establishing them to be siblings would be a whole another show. The magical Wiccans of Sister Wives.
That's not even Sister Wives, that's incest.
Exactly.
And that's your AfterBuzz TV news and gossip for the Secret Circle
For the week of September 29th.
2011.
Dun, dun, dun.
TV, David.
Predictions. Okay, you guys, what do you think is going to be happening? Not necessarily just in next week's episode, but we should talk about that. But as a whole for the series, where do you see us going? Next week, we see that there is a mute, scary character coming back. I think it's Heather.
I think so too.
Yeah.
They find her somehow and find a way to break her of this curse that she's been under, this spell that she's been under, and find out a little bit more about the fire that happened.
Next week looked bananas.
Yeah, it looked insane.
Last preview.
Crazy.
Looked like a whole nother level.
Definitely. More than papers flying.
There's just people flying. It looked a little nuts.
So what else do you guys think is going to be happening next week? What would you like to happen?
I'd like to see, beyond obviously finding out if this is Heather and what happened to her, I would like to see the continuation of that Nick and Melissa storyline. I like that it kind of pulled away from the magic and brought some emotion to them. And I liked that, and I'd like to see that sort of grow and see where that grows.
I wish that really all that stuff happened. If someone's like really mean, then all it takes is one person to go up to them and be like, she really likes you. And
Problem solved.
Oh, I like her too.
You want to go watch a movie?
Sorry, I've been mean. I thought you didn't really like me.
I want to see Diana get jealous.
Yeah. She totally has already started, kind of. But Faye,
like in her face.
I know. And Faye is like, you should watch out. And if I was Diana, like get to it, girl. Like, don't you see what's happening?
Yeah.
She, like, okay.
Yeah. So you are wanting to see a little bit more of the wicked side of Diana.
Yeah.
For sure. And I think we are definitely going to be getting there eventually.
Yes.
I just don't think that's going to be happening next week.
I mean, that's what I predict ultimately for this show, like you were saying, is that we're getting a certain view of who these people are and who their parents are. And I think it's all going to be flipped on its head, and eventually it's going to split into this good magic, evil magic thing. I think it's going to go down that road. That's what I predict.
It seems like there's definitely a divide.
And if any listeners out there have any predictions about next week or where the show's going, please feel free to call us at 424-256-1729.
Or email at info@AfterBuzzTV.com.
Yes. Any other predictions?
Hey.
Is everybody tapped out?
All right.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in for episode 3 of Secret Circle. We'll see you here next week. From myself, David Schifilliti, from Melissa,
Nathan,
Kimmy, Billy, Michelle, and myself, and everyone here at the AfterBuzz TV studios. Have a wonderful night.
Have a good night.
And we'll talk to you soon. See you next week.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.